How everyone? This is Sam Wong from Finance and Analytics Services team. Hope you had a great weekend. The market performance is kind of mixed. In particular, Dow Jones was lower due to the pandemic spread, while NASDAQ hit record high. This may be an opportunity to buy at a dip. Stock recommended previously, such as Baidu, were dipped will pull back despite the strong earnings announcement. Pinduoduo also were pulling down lower as it already jumped up 20%. JD.com, however, went up higher. Alibaba was the worst performers of the week due to the fact that funds were sell off after the announcing worse than expected result. Travel and leisure stock, including bowling as well, as you know, were beat up due to Austria and Germany shutdown with increasing COVID-19 cases. So they were going to see shut down 10 days and see if there any improvement, and then we'll further determine. So as you have experiencing in these stock, a lot of time the announcement were bad news like that were really dragging them, but then when we open it happen, it will rebound back. So I'm not too worried about those. Market opened up pretty well for the first couple of days last week, but pulled back with the inflationary concerns despite strong retail earning. Again, retail stock, if you look at most of them, actually have a pretty strong performance for the week. On Monday, Biden signed a massive $1 trillion infrastructure bill into law. This drove stocks such as Blank, which is for those who listen to my video, knew that I have recommended that stock, and it had a momentum drive to almost $60, but then it bounced, pulled back to 30-ish, and now it's probably pull up about 45 to $50, and I would say then you take the profit and walk. Key highlights for a week: consumer sentiment just hit a 10-year low, according to the University of Michigan. That's probably has something to do with the inflation pressure. Chairman Xi Jinping met with President Biden to discuss a few key issues. The world's two biggest economies disagree on a number of issues, but such as trade, but again, they were going to be scheduling a meeting to discuss what are some of the actionable items. And then China also, obviously again, talk about the Taiwan and how the COVID-19 pandemic started, and not agreed with the U.S. What are the impact of the meeting? The offshore yuan hit a 5-month high, and also talk about, people know that, with tariffs and everything, that open up again with talking. Hopefully there will be shed some light to that, and I look forward to that to have those Chinese start to have a more optimistic view to driving back up. Elon Musk sold more Tesla shares, bringing him almost halfway to his promise to unload 10% of share. Amazon.com said it will stop accepting payment using Visa credit card starting from UK starting next year. Alibaba Group emerged as a turnover to take over the Shanghai unique group for 7.8 billion to keep China indebted chips afloat. China Honghua Asset Management special investor, also in debt, will now recapitalize and raise about $6.6 billion from a handful of institutional investors to back up, like Citi and China Life. That tells you that Chinese government does have a way and make sure things were, I won't say too big to fail, but continue to substantiating the market to ensure stability. Otherwise, if the economy, or real estate will not crash, then you will make life much worse than where we are, while they still continue to fight with the pandemic. On the earnings side, Walmart has both revenue and earning that beat estimate. Retail shares rose 1.7% last month to a new record high, $638.2 billion. Apple and Nvidia were a big winner this week. Nvidia has announced and beat the street estimate. Like I said, for my old video, I bought it, and when you split and dip it down to $200 and sold at $225, and then you come back down and buy back, and now you're hitting $330 as a record high. So without the split, it's like 1,200 shares, almost in line with almost what Tesla has of a share. So Apple has also hit record high because they mentioned about Apple Car again and talk about the progress, how they were making, what their plans are. So another exciting news. Lisa stock slipped as much as 9%, but this is still have more than double in price since it went public via SPAC merger since July. Cisco exceeded estimate, but the stock actually take a hit of 6% after an hour. Some other news. The October job report showed the U.S. added 531,000 new payrolls, also beating the forecast of 450,000. And also the new jobless claim fell to a pandemic low of 268,000 last week. So again, there's some seasonality hiring put it into place and in effect, and that's why the number look good. But again, I challenge you: what is the payroll? How much people get per dollars? Because again, there's a lot of layoff earlier year. The people in the office and middle class people, and they, while the news focus so much about helping the poor people and the rich people get richer, these people seems to be really still harder to get a huge pay cut, to come back to the workforce. So I'm expecting more movements this year as this got a better situation and company hire with a more reasonable pay. U.S. 10-year Treasury yield fell to 1.545%. This is one of the explaining why NASDAQ on Friday, despite Dow Jones went down, and hit actual record high. And I'm telling you, like Amazon and all this high-tech stocks still perform very strong and solid. Tesla also rebound back from almost $1,000 low to back up. So also the driver of why NASDAQ was hitting higher. And then the oil prices slipped from the record high to 76.11. So this week energy stock got beat up, and gold fell to 1846 per troy ounces at the end of Friday. So what's next? As I said from a previous video, right? Chinese stock tend to have more volatility. So, I'm looking forward to the double 12 now, 12, which is another strong selling day, and see how it goes. So there may still a momentum, while these stocks were pushing bond with Alibaba and Pinduoduo, you may actually pick it back up again, but now, the sales strategies, they're not really selling on that day. They're doing the sales discount a lot more, just like US, now we're not Black Friday yet, but, a lot of online Black Friday sales already in place. Sometimes people are overreacted with what they hear from news, and also can reach oversold. So once it's Chinese stock oversold, you typically again you see a rebound and hitting back to 10-15% rebound. You may also, but again, you have to be patient, right? Just like I said before, you can't expect to put money in today and tomorrow you get the return and sell way away. Those are day trade, right? And I'm not here encouraging day trade behavior or speculations, but really for short-term investing or long-term investing. And also, it's a good time to do consolidation, just like I told you from last video. If you have a lot of shares in hand, you're gonna revisit the portfolio, ask yourself where you're at, what you expected these stock, are they in line with what you expected, how much was the revenue on or earnings on the future outlook, how they will perform in the last quarter. Would they be a growth category or will it be a plateau, and then you expect it to be slipping down, like Zoom as an example, which one time hitting 520, now because the economy reopening is really back down to 250. It's really hard to see they will be going back to the day they were. Peloton also, it was $120 and got beat up really bad with the earnings, and they got down to like as bad as $45. Now we bang back a little bit. So some of the stuff you gotta ask yourself, whether you should sell them, hold them while you still profit, or if the futures for that associated with a loss, you may have to take a loss. Just take the cash and put it somewhere else that better to give you better return. So for the stuff I recommended, I would say if you have to wait for the longer term view that will give you a return, particularly in these leisure and entertainment stock, because like I said, United Airlines pre-pandemic was at $92 and it dropped it to now Friday about $45.70. So that is almost the opportunity for you to buy back. And then also you also experienced in the past that these stock like Boeing, United Airlines and Cruise, CCL, NCLH have actually dropped when the bad news come or shut down. CCL, if you look at the historical chart, probably a month or so ago, you were dropping down to $19.20, but then you rebound back to $23, $24, pretty much in a month timeline, right? So if I'm looking for a finishing strong, I think that they are actually pretty solid on the balance sheet, and they will continue continue to grow and at reopening resumes with the economy. So I think these are really something that you can definitely consider. And then while there are concerns such as supply chain shortages, instability brought on by the pandemic, weak consumer demand, after the holiday bubble, inflation, I'm still thinking that and look forward to the Santa Claus event, and we'll be finishing strong. So enjoy the ride. Hope everybody will continue to make money from now till year end, and then we'll reposition after that. Thank you.